Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will learn the basics of Python Pandas library. So Pandas library is very important for analyzing data, cleaning the data or manipulating the data. So in this video, we will just quickly learn a very basics of a Pandas library. So this one I have taken from W3 School's website tutorial. So I have plotted all the exercises in a single file and I am going to show you everything one by one by executing it. So before starting up using the pandas, first we need to import a pandas library like any other library importing in Python. So just import pandas as PD, just give a alias PD. So the second line presently you can ignore it, and the basics are very important in the pandas is data frame. So the data frame is nothing but a two-dimensional data, which is nothing but a similar to a table data. So the table data has a rows and columns, which is a two-dimensional data. So in a pandas library, the very important data frame, which is a two-dimensional library. Here you can see my data set. In that we have cars list and passings list. So here this is we can consider as two-dimensional data, and we are loading this two-dimensional data into a data frame. So pandas, this is alias and data frame, and we are passing a data set and we are storing that in a variable. And let's print this and see how it looks once we loaded this two-dimensional data into the data frame. So for testing purpose, we can use a Jupyter notebook, but for now I am just using a simple .py file and executing it in the Ubuntu. So Python 3 test. So here you can see this is a cars list and this is a passings list. So BMW, Volvo, Ford and 372, and this is nothing but an index for the rows. So you can see how it looks beautifully when we load a two-dimensional data into a data frame. So this is the first example, or we can say hello world in pandas library. And before going to two-dimensional data, there is a one-dimensional data also that we will call as a series. So series is nothing but just a column data in a table instead of a two-dimensional data. So in pandas we call this as a series. So here you can see we initialized one list 172 and we loaded that list into a series pandas. And let's print this and see how it looks. So just for differentiating, I just added these lines of print so that we can see the differentiating between this exercise and this exercise. Let's go to terminal again and execute. So here you can see now we are seeing only one series of data 172 that we have loaded here 172, and while printing series it is printing a data type also in 64, the data type of this one 172, and this is the index of the rows 0 1 2. And let's go to the next exercise, and after loading a series into myWhere, let's print the first number in a series. So how we can access this? We can access using the index. So the first index is 1, so we expect to print a 1. Let's go to terminal again and print. So here we can see the 1 is printed. So after this exercise, and here you can see before we are using an index 0 1 2, but we want to give some names to it. Instead of accessing through 0 1 2 3 4, I want to give some names to it. So here this is a series as usual, and while loading into Pandas series, we are loading A and we are giving names for the indexes also. So index XYZ instead of 0, 1, 2, we are naming it. And let's see how it prints. So here you can see how it printed. Previously it was 0, 1, 2, now it is XYZ because we have given names to it. So if you try to give some extra, here you can see series we have only 1723. If you try to give 4 here, let's see what happens. So it gives an error because the names we have given should be equal to the series. So the length of values 3 does not match the length of index 4. So let's go back. Then let's go to the one more exercise. See, now you can see after naming the indexes, we can access the values or series through the names we have given instead of 0, 1, 2. So we are accessing y, which is 7. So we can see 7 here. So now let's go to next exercise. So next, see here we can see we have loaded a series with just a plain list 172, and it is taken as 172 index 0, 1, 2. And in calories, if you see these calories, we are giving a key value pair instead of just a values, we are giving key value pair day 1, 2, 3. So now when we load this into a series, it will consider as this as index names and this as values. And let's load and test it. So you can see here day 1, day 2, day 3 and the values. So now these are index names. What we have given XYZ after while loading the series, but before only we have given these names, and after that we have loaded into series. And here you can see calories and PDs. While loading series, again we are providing an index day 1, 2. It means we have a data for day 1, day 2, day 3, but we are loading into Panda series only these indexes. We won't load the third one. So let's see how it is. So it should not load the third one. So you can see it loaded only day 1, 2. It didn't load the other data, which is day 3. And now till here we have seen the series, which is only the single dimensional data, which is just column data inside a table, not the two-dimensional row and column. So now we have already seen this two-dimensional data, and this is one more example, calories and duration. So we can consider data frame is a combination of series. So we can consider this as one series and this as one series, and we are loading into data frame. And let's print and see. So here you can see calories, duration, and the naming of this is 0, 1, 2 as the indexes. Then we have one more, locate function 1. Let's see what it will print when we locate and give as 1. So if you see here, the data is this one, the actual data, and we are locating 1. 1 means this one. So the index 1. So when we locate this, it will print this 380 and 40. You can see calories is 380 and duration is 40. And let's see this one. We are locating 0 to 1. So now we are not fetching only 1. We are just fetching 0 to 1, the range. And now you can see we have fetched 0 also, 1 also. And if you go to the next exercise, again this is a two-dimensional data, and while loading now into the data frame, we are giving the names for the indexes. So previously while loading we are not giving the names, that's why it is coming 0 1 2. Now we are giving the names. Instead of that we should get, instead of 0 1 2 we should get the names. So day 1, day 2, day 3. And now instead of accessing through the indexes, we can access through the names what we have given. We are locating day 2, so we are locating this 380 and 40. So you can see 380 40 is a day 2. So previously we are located 1 through the index. And next we can go to a reading a CSV file. So data frame we have seen it's a two-dimensional data. And what is CSV file? CSV file also contains a two-dimensional data. So it's similar to data frame, and it's easily we can load the data of CSV to a data frame of Python very easily using the read CSV file. So you can see the read CSV file, it has the data, this one. In my Excel data.csv, duration, pulse, max pulse, calories, and we have all these data till 170 rows. I am just loading or reading all the CSV file and loading into, it will load as a data frame. And let's, after loading, let's print the data and see how it prints. So you can see we have loaded and we have printed the data frame. Now it is showing the first 5 rows and dot 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 and the last some 6 rows. And it is very similar to this data because it is two-dimensional data and it easily loaded into data frame. So now after loading into data frame, we have already seen how to access data using this locate index name and series and locate with the range. So we can easily access once we loaded. And yeah, now let's see how to load a data from yeah, we'll see the different function. So we have loaded the CSV file, then we are printing into string. So previously we have just printed directly the total data frame. So while printing total data frame, it has some settings or something. It will print only the first some rows and the last some rows. When you use this function data frame into toString and we print, it should print everything. So it just print every data from the CSV file. So now we will go to the next one. So PD options display max rows. Yeah, this is just a settings attribute to just check what is the settings pandas or pandas library has to display what is the max rows. So it displaying the max 60. So let's go to the next one and we can assign a settings to max 999 or whatever number. So presently we'll just comment this printing whole string. This also will comment. Let's print and see the data frame once we change the max rows to 9999. Let's see any difference comes. Yeah, you can see it is printing whole data. So previously when we print a data frame, it is printing only some first rows and last rows because it has some limit. Now we have changed the limit to the bigger number and we are printing the data frame, so it is printing every data. So just comment it now. Let's go to the next one. Now this one is to load a JSON. So I have a data.json file. So you can check. So I have here duration, pulse, max pulse. So it is same similar data which is having in CSV file, but I have it in a JSON structure. So here you can see duration is one column or one series in a pandas, you can say, and in that series we have this key value page. So first one obviously it will consider as the index, and second one it will consider as a value. So like that I have pulse, max pulse and calories, and we can load this into a data frame directly. And it's the same way when we print it, it will print whole data. Let's test it. See, you can see we have loaded and we have printed the data, it is printing. And here we have read JSON directly from the file, and we can read JSON like structure or dictionary from dictionary also. It is a similar data, and we are loading this data into data frame. It is just a JSON similar structure which is in dictionary in the pandas. So when we print this one, so it prints duration pulse, max pulse from the dictionary directly. So here we will just change or remove some things or add some extra things. Let's see what happens. So here you can see we have added some extra row for duration, but we have not added for others, pulse, max pulse. So it is coming as NaN. So it is a blank or empty data. So let's remove it for now. So we have loaded. Then here some functions we can see in the while loading CSV file. So we will load a CSV file, and after loading, if you want only some 10 rows, first 10 rows, you can use head data frame dot head and give the count. So it should print the first 10 rows. So you can see it printed only the 10 rows. Similarly, you can access tail. So data frame, just give tail. Let's see how many rows by default it gives. So when you give tail by default, it is giving 5 lashed rows. Let's do some count for this also, and let's check. So if you give count, it is giving count, otherwise it by default it is giving 6. And let's print the info. So we have loaded the data into the data frame. We are just printing a info. Let's see what information it gives. So you can see the pandas data frame. It is saying totally there are 169 entries, 0 to 168 data columns. Total 4 columns are there. So it is giving all the basic data that what we loaded. So duration, pulse, max pulse, calories, data types, loads, and usage 5.4 KB. And yeah, let's see. We have loaded CSV. We are using some drop now. Let's see what is this meaning. So here this might be for cleaning the data. So let's check this. Drop now function. What is drop now in Python? It removes the rows that contains null values. So if there are any null values, it will remove that rows itself. That is the purpose we use for drop now function. And we can see the correlation function. it will give information about the correlation between the different columns or data. And let's print this and check. So you can see the correlation between duration and duration is 1 because it is the same value. So the correlation, it will be, the value will be till 1. 1 means it is best correlation, because duration are same things will have same values, because 1 1 1 1. And if it has 0.9, it means it is very closely related. Means if the duration is increasing, this calorie is also increasing. If calorie is decreasing, the duration is also decreasing. In that way they are correlated. If it is 0.0, it is very bad correlation. There is not at all very close in the relation. So this correlation, we can see a relation in the graphs also. Quickly we can see the data frame plot. So here in this purpose, we use this import matplot library to plot as a graphs. So you can see we are reading and we are just plotting the calories, and we can just show in the graph. So you can see this is this color is duration, this is pulse, this is max pulse, and this is calories. How they are increasing or decreasing, or what is the correlation. And this one is also a scattered way. Yeah, you can see here. So the first one is we are just plotting and showing the diagram as a normal. Then we are showing in a scattered way the next diagram, which is a dotted one, which we have seen. So the last ones are just to show some of the diagrams in different ways. So let's see all the diagrams once again. Let's execute this. So you can see this first diagram is normal plotting. Then the next, scattering calories by duration. Then this max pulse with the duration. This is again a scattered diagram. And the last one, this is the frequency, and let's go to this history, or this is the historic diagram for the duration. So this is the basics of a pandas library. So in the coming videos we will learn more in detail some of the manipulations of data, how we can manipulate the data once we load a CSV file, or after manipulating how to save into CSV file. So all those we can learn in the coming videos. I hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for more videos, and share to your friends. Thank you for watching.